All right, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison. This is Madison, Wisconsin. Skate park, skill space. Look at this. This looks pretty nice, actually. A little dry. See, now this is the kind of thing where I'm not sure if this is necessarily park space. You got to figure that the park itself is on park space, but this, I don't know. And it hasn't been, I feel like it's not park space, but as far as skill space is concerned, looks pretty good. Now, this also could be drainage, retention, water retention and stuff. So, there's always that. And that may also account for this mud, the dirt over here, the mud that would form when it rains, etc. But as far as location is near the skate park, yeah. And, a lot of the skill space too is kind of like a temporary thing, maybe one day it's good, the next day it's not. Obviously weather plays a huge factor. So, but this looks really neat. I kind of like that. I mean, you could obviously pass 6 clubs out there. There's a lot of room for that. I think we use 6 clubs sort of like as the, just like a good determiner like of space, because 6 clubs, it's hard to imagine like how much space. Oh, look at this out here. This is also, it's kind of like a continuation of that space back over there. This is kind of like another, so this would be another spot. Now this is, now we're seeing that this is going to be some like drainage. So there is an expectation that water will be collecting here at different points, but so it's, do you want to get, how much dust and dirt do you want on your equipment? Is a little bit of a concern, but other than that, the other thing is like sometimes you have like an additional like environmental stuff. Like I feel like there might be some like this kind of, I'm just getting my vibe on this kind of piece of land right here is that it may have been like an industrial thing, like a factory or something, like a long time ago, and there's still some of that like kind of debris, even though it's been turned into basically like this sort of quasi park space. It's not, and that's I'm also getting that from this this structure over here. So these are the kind of things to look for. If you're, like I think there was a cigarette butt, which is actually really unusual. We've done about, I don't know how many videos now. We're always like coming up with something, but there's been really few cigarette butts and like this kind of, I don't even know what that is, that kind of stuff. And so it's like the kind of thing where I'm thinking kind of thing like, you're like, oh, let's go meet up somewhere, and then you get there and you're like, this isn't, it looks good in the pictures, but when you're there, it may tell another story. But space-wise, this is. I mean, if this was like the way it is right now, I think is relatively fine. It depends like what you want to do, as far as like the size of your skill. So it's like if you're doing Diablo, might be kind of good out here. You could like I feel like pretty good. Like if you got in the middle of this thing, you could practice like launching your Diablo up, like as high as you possibly could. I'm guessing as long as you don't, you got to know what you're doing though, because you could easily, lose the Diablo, like almost as bad as playing baseball or something. Diablo can go real far. So if you don't know your basics of Diablo tossing, like high into the sky, you could you could throw it and get it lost somewhere. But this is the kind of space. But the thing is, yeah, it's like it takes a space of like something along this size, which I don't even know. I'm not sure. I don't know if I can guess what that would be. But we're talking about like 20 feet by 20 feet in diameter on a circle. I don't know, like a 40 foot diameter, a 20-foot radius, maybe 25 feet, to feel comfortable. Now you can get very proficient at it, and then you only need like maybe a 2-foot radius. If you're really good and that's a good one for street performing or busking. It's like, you get a crowd around you and you start launching your Diablo like 40 feet in the air. Is 40 feet right? Maybe it's like 30. Oh, that's cool. You can see the Capitol from here. So Madison, Wisconsin. Madison is the capital of the state of Wisconsin. University of Wisconsin, the Badgers, and home to one of the, if Rochester is a really important juggling club, the Madison Jugglers are a very long-standing and very important juggling club around for the world, around the country. And they host the 47th annual Mad Fest every year. And it's always the 47th, just so you're aware of that. Whatever year you attend, it'll be the 47th annual Mad Fest. Yes, they have a sense of humor. So yeah, I don't know, like a Diablo launch is a very large space taker. The Diablo takes a lot of space. 6 club passing takes less space. Now if you're doing multiple, if you're doing a 3-person feed or a 4-person feed, a feast, etc., now you're starting to add, it takes more and more space. So these are things to consider. I guess we could, that would be a whole nother subject, is how much space does each skill kind of take. If you set up a portable point so you could do Lyra and Silks in the park, probably is going to take a lot of space as well. Maybe not as much as that Diablo toss. So this is the plaza, the entrance. I guess we tend to in general, I guess you have to cross the train tracks in this spot. I don't know if there's another entrance. Looks like you could go down to this parkway. So there's that. That spot. So they're calling this Erwin A. and Robert D. Goodman Skatepark. So this huge open green space. Now all of this stuff should be park space. They've got the garbage cans out. The grass is kept much nicer, as you can see. Real nice green grass out here on this particular day. Very, very nice. Some of the best grass we've had the pleasure to be on. So that's real nice. And I'm guessing that I don't know which architect, Le Corbusier or Gaudi style house over there. I'm sure I pronounced Le Corbusier. Le Corbusier. Probably pronounced that wrong. But that's probably a. Am I actually going to walk all the way down there? It is interesting. It's nice when you do have some architecture, like some inspiring architecture. It definitely like gives, sometimes you need a little boost, or like it elevates your skill appetite. You're kind of like, oh, look at this look at this building. It makes me want to skill just a little bit more, and that little pat on the back can be nice. So, and many times park spaces have that. Not always, so it's variability. It's not required. Lots of parks around the country. They're calling this one the Mick Pike Park. Looks like this might be a separate park somehow, unless this whole area is Mick Pike Park. Oh yeah, right. So we have these train lines that are going, well, they would be going northeast and southwest, pretty sure. Well, it's about noon, and the shadow from the street lamp here is going, so this should be north, so this would be northeast, yeah. So it's generally, the tracks are generally running from the northeast to the southwest, okay? And they are on both sides of the park, you can see over here, and which reminded me that we are on, it's kind of interesting, you're like, oh, well, I guess it's an industrial area, or there's must be important reason that there's train tracks that are running on both sides of the park or something. Seems a little strange, but this reminds me, yes, so Madison, Wisconsin, is on a very interesting and rare geographical feature called an isthmus. Yet another word that is hard to pronounce. Isthmus. 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 It's on an isthmus. And what that means is that it has a lake on one side and a lake on the other side. And the land that is in the middle, this strip of land in the middle, like this, is called the isthmus because it's got a body of water on one side and a body of water on the other side. It's kind of like in some ways, it's kind of, you could say like it's a bridge. But it's not really a bridge because it's land. It just means that there was a body of water on one side of the land and a body of water, in this case, two lakes on the other side of the land. So now we're getting a little bit further from the park. But these chairs, tables look nice, don't they? Well, maybe we'll, and we could get another view of this structure. This looks like when they laid down this cement, there were, I don't know what this is, bird's feet or some sticks, leaves. It's almost like a fossil. Or maybe it was intentional. I'm looking around. Here's these tables. Nice picnic spot. As you saw before, this is probably, I'm guessing you said, well, they got two benches on this one. There's one bench on this one. This could be for a wheelchair. So accessibility.